Hello YouTube, subscribers and viewers. Welcome to Ohio Airgun Shooter. In this video, I got my Springfield Armory M1A from Air Venturi out. This is a 22 caliber spring piston underlever air rifle. And for this test, I'm going to be using some 16 grain pellets. I have these Gamo Master Point. It's actually an older tin that I've had for quite a while. They're 16.30 grains, and they are a pointed pellet. And then I have the H&N Terminator. They're kind of like a hollow point with a little point in the center, and they weigh in at 16.36 grains. I haven't shot anything in the 16 grain range yet. I did do some testing when I first got it out of the box, using some RWS Meister Coolgun 14 grain pellet, flat nose, and the highest I got with those was 790.7 feet per second, or right around 19.44 foot-pounds of energy. It does have a claimed velocity of up to 800 feet per second with lead pellets. I think it probably right around, they say about 1,000 or so with an alloy, but just sticking to lead. The heavier Barracuda 15.89, these are the Barracuda 15s, again 15.89 grain. I got a high of 720.3 feet per second, which was 18.31 foot-pounds of energy. And then I tried some heavier 18.21 grain H&N Crow mags, and the highest I got with those was, well, the very first shot came in at 899.5 feet per second. I think that was a very high dieseling detonating shot. I got 32.72 foot-pounds of energy. But after that shot, it settled down and it dropped down to 671.8 feet per second, which gave me 18.86 foot-pounds. So it's right there in that upper 6 to upper 700, up to 800 feet per second range, as claimed by the box with the lead pellets. But we're going to test some 16 grain pellets and see how well they do, because I want to get this outside and get it zeroed in. Kind of like when I was in the Army, you know, with the M16, basic training, you zeroed in with 3 shots at 25 meters, and that 25 meter group had to be pretty tight as well. I mean, and they had, the 3 shots had to be within a certain distance before you can move on to qualifying. But before I do any of that outside, because there may be some oils and stuff still in this, because I haven't I just did some initial velocity testing with some pellets that I mentioned earlier with the velocities, because I don't want any loud cracks outside in my backyard. I don't need any unwanted attention. So we're going to test the velocities with both these pellets. Again, 16.30 grain Gamo Master Points, and then 16.36 grain H&N Terminators, just to see what the velocity is with a 16 grain pellet. And then we'll move outside later. We are expecting some rain, but it's going to be warm. But I think I could get some squeeze some shooting in, in between if it does start to rain. But this has a really nice wood stock, metal plastic receiver. The bolt here does work, but it's just spring loaded for show. But it's very cool. The rear sight, it's a peep sight, adjustable for windage and elevation. You can't adjust the front sight at all. Very cool air rifle, very nice wood stock. So let me get my chronograph set up, and we'll test the velocities of both of these pellets. Make sure, see if we get any oils in there worked out, because I want to add some of my RWS chamber lube. They recommend about 2 drops every, I think 750 to 1,000 shots. I'll show you. But I want to get the factory oils out first, and then just apply. I'll probably just apply 1 drop, and then because there's no way I have a 750 to 1,000 shots in this thing yet. I mean, I don't even think I have 100 yet. So I'm going to run about 10 of each just to see what the velocities are. And then again, like I said, we'll move outside and do some, I would say anywhere from 15 to 20 yards. Basically get it zeroed in and see how well it shoots. Come on, Prince. Can you move, please? He's like, I'm just going to stay right here. You're just going to shoot over top of me. But I won't do that. We'll get him out of the way. All right, we are back in business. So for the velocity testing, we'll begin with the Gamo Master Points. These are the 16.30 grain. Do 10 shots of each. I just want to get this thing broken in some more before we take it out and do some zeroing. Now this cocking arm here does pull out to make it longer, but to help lighten the cocking effort, which isn't too bad. Just kind of hold on to this before you load a pellet. Here's the master point. You can see that. I'm going to load this in. Not a whole lot of room to get your finger and thumb in there, but we'll get that one in there. I had a RWS Diana Model 52. Pretty sure it had a much wider opened loading port, easier to get your fingers in there. That was in 25. Now to bring this arm back up, there's a push down right here. You're ready to go. Safety is right here. It is not automatic, I do not believe. So let's see what the velocities are. All right, for the safety, forward is safe. Back towards the trigger is shoot. All right, 16.3 grain Gamo Master Points. We'll do 10 of them. Make sure you can see the chronograph down there. There we go. All right. Wow, 854.2. And that's with the 16 grain. I was probably had a little extra behind it. All right, shot number 2. All right. We got my pellets out here so I don't lose count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. Put them on the table. I guess I can put them in the lid there. All right, shot number 2. .732. Yeah, that first one had a little extra behind it. Excuse me. That one dropped into the breech there. Somehow that was a Crossman pointed pellet got in there somehow. All right. Excuse me, I got a cat hair or something in my throat. Stand by. All right, my apologies. I'm back. All right, shot number 3. I'm gonna keep my elbow off the table, make sure I don't mess up the chronograph. 717.7. I guess this is more designed. I don't know. It's the same size on each side. I guess it doesn't matter left or right-handed. Just, yeah, it's hard to, just not a lot of room to get your knuckle in there to load one. Yeah, pretty sure the RWS 48 or 52 Diana has a much wider open port there to get your fingers in there, breech. All right, number 4. 724.9. So pretty good with the 16 grain pellets, 16.3 to be exact. All right, actually, that was going pretty good. I'm just glad I got small fingers for a guy. Be hard to get some pudgy fingers in there. 728.2. So it seems to be settling in good. Yeah, that first one was pretty high. $729.0. Pretty steady there, 720s. That's not bad. $723.9. It's been a little while since I shot this. Again, since pretty much since the I just when I just got it and did some initial testing with it. Well, that one did not read. 2 more left. All right. $728.0. So it seems to be the 720s. All right, last one. $728.4. So take out that first high one and then the error, right there in the 720s. So not too bad. Again, 16.30 grain Gamo Master Points. All right, on to the H&N Terminator, 16.36 grains. Next up, H&N Terminator, 16.36 grain. As you can see there, a hollow point with that little tiny point in the middle. There's the pellet. If you can see that. There's the. There you go. There you can see it pretty good there. All right, let's see how these do. Another 10 shots. $712.2. Getting a little easier to load as I do it more. Just kind of used to a brake barrel. Easier to load. 711.5. So a 0.06 difference in weight. Knocked off about what, 10 feet per second. $710.2. I think these are a bit longer. I mean, a little bit more meat, I guess. I think they're a bit longer than the Gamos. I mean, those are pretty much all point, but not sure. You wouldn't think 0.06 would be, make that much of a difference velocity wise. A little bit longer pellet, more drag, of course. There we go, 224.5. So, into the 700s, 17, 720s with a 16 grain pellet. 714.8. I'm kind of excited to get this out and do some accuracy testing with it. Just open sights. 716.7. So it looks like what the 17s is kind of where it's averaging. $719.7 or 1 at rather. Yeah, I think I left the caulking arm unsecured there. Just make sure it's all the way in there. $723.3. So definitely the 17s into the low 720s with this 16.36 grain pellet. 723.9. I believe that was a duplicate, was it not? So that's 10 shots with H&N Terminator, 16.36 grains. So we're anywhere, from the 710s into the low 720s with those. So not too bad. That first shot was really high, so that was definitely some detonation there with the oils from it sitting. So it seems that we got, the majority of those worked out. So not too bad velocity. That's pretty good. I mean, not quite the 800, but we're in that range with a 16 grain pellet. So not bad at all. But yeah, just some quick velocity testing. I'll get this thing outside here later, get some targets set up, and we'll try to zero it in. Just kind of military style, army style. I don't know what the procedure was back when these were the standard issue firearms. However, this was the civilian model. With the the M14 or M1. I do have an M1 carbine CO2 powered BB gun, but yeah, very cool. Yeah, we'll just kind of sight it in that way. Just use the peep sights. But you can add a scope. I mean, you do make a mount, but if you ask me, these were designed to be shot open sights. So that's how I intend to use it, is with open sights. But matter of fact, let's check these screws real quick. Make sure they're tight. Find it there. Where's the lighting? There we go. Maybe. There we go. Tight. Check the one back here. That's tight. There's an Allen in here. I'd have to check that with an Allen. I don't have one right now. And then we'll check this one real quick. That one's still tight. The only thing that popped loose was this, but I don't think I had it secured all the way. Again, this does extend out. Gives you a little bit longer pull. Makes it easier. But I think it looks better like that. But very cool air rifle. Spring piston air rifle. Alright, well here's a quick size comparison with between the pellets, Gamo Master Point and then the H&N Terminators. Now, there is more lead, since this is kind of the hollow point style. I mean, here you just got that little tiny edge that catches the rifling. Here you got a little bit more, so I wonder if that's creating just a little bit more drag when it goes down the barrel, giving you the about a 10 feet per second difference, even though you only have 0.06 grains difference between both. But yeah, I believe that's probably why these are just a tiny bit slower. But yeah, just kind of thought I'd show you that. The difference between the Gamo Master Point and the H&N Terminator. 16.3 grains, 16.36 grains. So we got some pretty decent steady numbers in the 700s, 710s to almost 730s with the both the 16 grain pellets, the Gamo Master Point 16.3 and the H&N Terminator 16.36. However, we did have that really high one, the first shot of the Gamo Master Points. Again, probably some detonation in there, some excessive dieseling, but it settled down after that. But yeah, we'll get this outside, do some actually testing, get it zeroed in, just kind of see how well it's shooting with open sights, see how bad my eyes really are. And probably right around, we'll probably start like at 15 yards and then back it up maybe to 20 yards just to see how well it will shoot at that distance. I mean, just maybe get some acceptable groups, but we'll see. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.